Hey, what's good, guys? Okay, future Gerald the Weep here. Okay, I got some good news and bad news. The bad news, I'm gonna get rid of my computer, man. I mean, not rid of it. It's too old. Anyway, I got my new computer, and it has the app I use to record my videos, so I can use that and add multiple photos on there too. It's just a little bit. It's a less time too, because this took me over an hour and a half to do. I ain't got an hour and a half to do. I got homework to do. Yeah, so yeah, like it's like my final month, so I gotta finish my semester exams. But I'll be making a video Tuesday or Wednesday, or the video will say it anyway. That's all I gotta say, guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. And what's good, guys? It's me, Jared the Weep here, back again with another video. Told you guys, Saturday. It'll probably be coming out Sunday. So this is what if Madara went to ReZero Part 7. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I wanted to make this part over 3 months ago. It's been almost 7 months or 6 months since I last made a part. Hey, hey. Sorry, my dog's licking me. It's one of the new family members, Sentry. She's just mean to me. Anyway, yeah. She might be the new annoying dog. Anyway, like I was saying, hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, subscribe if you still want to. Okay, I'm messing up the intro. Okay. Anyway, guys, I miss you guys. Anyway, let's go. I know I said anyway like 100 times. Now, okay, last time, Madara was flying back to Sanctuary to go help Subaru with the rabbit situation that was going on there. As Madara is flying back, he still remembers what happened to him with Pandora. So that's why he's flying back. If you didn't watch part 6, Madara was trying to go free the elves and prove to Amelia that Roswell is not needed, and he was just using her. But they already discussed this already in the last part. So yeah, but Madara got attacked, and he couldn't figure out a way to harm Pandora, so that's why he's heading back, so he doesn't run into her, or he doesn't get marked by her, so she can't teleport to him. No, oh, okay, I don't know why my chair is making all that noise. It's my new gamer chair. okay, Madara flies back, and as it went before, the rabbits are being destroyed pretty easily because they have Celsius. If you guys, I'm pretty sure in my older videos I wasn't showing their faces. So like Celsius is like, he's just some young handsome guy. He could fight with Reinhardt a little bit. Like, he's not a rival. Reinhardt's stronger than him, but Celsius is pretty strong. And Hannibal, I think, is like a wolf guy with some Japanese clothing. If you want a better description of Hannibal and Celsius. Now, they were fighting off the rabbits, and since they were there, the rabbit situation went a lot more easier. And Subaru didn't have to call on Beatrice until they started overwhelming them. So they had Subaru had a lot more time to go to Beatrice to get help. And they murdered all of the rabbits. And since Madara was there, he went to go save everyone in the village. And he was defending them from there, from the rabbits. And everyone else was on the main line. So he said he wasn't needed out there. So after he escorts everyone in Sanctuary, all the villagers, he goes to find Amelia, and he says, go and finish that trial. And he said, I'll be on watch. And Madara was very curious. He says, I wonder, if I go in there, what will happen? And Madara was like, he snaps out of it and he says, hurry up, Amelia, go and finish the trial. So if you didn't watch the original anime, yeah, Amelia, after the rabbits come, she's able to finish the trials and accept the past. But in this new What If, in the future, Madara, she sees a future Madara where he's manipulating people, and he allies himself with Satello. That's what she kind of sees. And he says, I'll be making a new world. I don't need Subaru anymore. And he's laughing. He says, "My infinite plan will work." So, yeah. I'll leave that to your imagination with this infinite plan he talks about. And Subaru is saying, like, we need your help, Amelia. You're the only one that can help us. And, yeah, she says, remember. These are people from our past and people from the future. And she wakes up. After waking up, Madara is still outside of the zone where he doesn't fall asleep. But Madara says, the rabbit's already been dealt with. You don't have to worry about it. And she says, I should have helped you guys so I could have gained more praise. But Madara says, a leader should be strong, but not also in just strength, but in diplomacy. That's what I learned from Hashirama. And Amelia then sits down right next to him, and she says, what is this Hashirama you always speak of? And Madara then says, like I said before, I've always been fighting in wars ever since I was young. It doesn't really matter. I also fought with a very good friend of mine for no really good reason. We even founded a village, but that didn't last because I went here. And also, those Chias were probably going to betray me anyway, because they were getting tired of war. I even took sacrifices, even for my brother, just to gain power. But that really doesn't matter now. It's not like I'll be going back anytime soon. My job is to make you queen and to find all the magic in this world to bring me back to that world. But if this world is better, I'll stay. He then stands up and he says, we have business to do. You need to become stronger, so I'll be training you. And Amelia says, sure. And Subaru, is just eating food. He's not even paying attention to Amelia. He says, he then sees that Madara and Amelia are walking out. And he says, what took you guys so long? Anyway, I need to have some food. We have... Okay, it took me over 30 minutes to calm down from laughing for so much. I don't know why. And yeah, I went back to watch my part 4 and part 5 videos while in that time. And yeah, I burnt down the mansion. Thank God I went back. Okay. Yeah, so Madara says, is the mansion still burnt down before I head back? And Amelia says it's only halfway complete from being built. We'll be going to one of the Mathers cousins. That's just Roswell's family. He says, fine. Okay, I was about to eat a cookie. I'm gonna calm myself. And Subaru says, alright, sweet. It's not like that I don't like the village life, but the mansion life was so much better. And Subaru says, as your first knight, I'll be protecting you with all I got. And I already can see ourselves in the future. And hands, and marriage, and everything. And Subaru says this in a joking way. And Amelia says, don't joke like that. And Madara then chimes in on this. Yeah, Madara doesn't usually joke around. He says, you guys would be very cute together. And he laughs. And he says, you should give her a smooch. And Madara starts laughing. And everyone looks at Madara. And Amelia looks at him. And she backs away. She says, why would I want to do something like that? And this hits Subaru very hard. He says, what? Why not? And Madara says, yeah, why not? He's not ugly. And she says, elves make babies that way. And Madara says, what? Wait, Madara was in shock when he heard this. He says, babies? What? Wait, so I know you're a different species and all, but you just get kissed and then poof a baby? And Madara's surprised by this. He was shocked by this. He was like, what? Oh, well, sorry for suggesting that. And Subaru is saying, like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Who told you this? And she told, who told her this? And Madara is saying, I think they were lying to you. Anyway, babies are not made that way. And Madara says, enough about that. It's time for us to get serious. Now that you, did the trials, oh yeah, well, okay, I'm sorry for, distracting you guys. I was looking back through my videos, and I didn't. It seemed like I didn't allow Madara to go back in time. I mean, not back in time. Go back to the past. It seemed like you guys can comment on if I should, if I already did that with Madara, but I don't know yet. So that's what I'm gonna do in a couple of minutes from now. But you'll see what I'm talking about, and yeah, you'll be surprised. Now back to what I was saying. Madara says, "Okay, since we helped with that, what are we gonna do now?" Subaru says, well, we're going to that mansion, so we should head there right away. And Garfield says he's not going with you, Subaru, because he doesn't. Garfield doesn't like. He trusts Subaru, but not to the point of like in the original timeline with the original series of ReZero. And Subaru says, "Oh yeah, I forgot." And Subaru says, I'm not leaving Garfield until you go and face your past. And Garfield said, no. You don't have no right to speak to me like this. And Subaru then just says, well, Amelia, you'll be going with Madara. I'm going to have to force Garfield to face himself. And Madara says, just hurry up and go. I'll go with you if I need to. I need to face my past also. And Garfield says, if Madara goes, I'll go. And he says, I'll make it out of there before him too. And Madara says, deal. And he then grabs Garfield with his Susanoo armor, and he says, let's hurry up and get this over with. Subaru, I'll be back. And as they walk in there, he throws Garfield in there, and Garfield hits his head and goes straight to sleep. And Madara doesn't fall asleep right away. He walks around and he bumps into one of the an old path in there, and he goes down this corridor. And as he's walking down, he sees the witch Ekidona. He says, "Oh, there's your body." He says, "It's been a while since I seen you, though. Hopefully you're doing alright." And Madara then starts to feel sleepy. He says, what the heck? I think, And then he falls asleep. And as Madara wakes up, he sees Hashirama. A younger version of Hashirama and himself. He says, Hashirama, why are you here? Where's Subaru and Amelia? And Hashirama says, Amelia and Subaru? Who are these people? Are these Uchihas or something? Anyway, we've been friends for almost 2 months, and you haven't even... this is the first time you're really talking to me like this. And Madara says, well, we'll be talking a lot more in the future when the war is over. And Hashirama says, yeah, are you still going to help me with my village, right? And Madara says, we already built the village. You don't see it? It's right here. Right on this spot. That's where we built it. And Madara says, the Hidden Leaf Village. That's its name. And Madara says, I'm just so tired of war. I want it to end. And Hashirama says, I have to go. And he leaves. But Madara tries to stop him. But he's getting pulled back by his father. He says, it's time for battle. You must hold your sword. And Madara says, it's just like before. Maybe I was just dreaming. Subaru and Amelia didn't exist. Or Ramaram. Otto, that Garfield thing. They probably didn't exist. I was just imagining it in a dream. And Madara spends a whole 2 months inside of there, doing the same motion over and over until he starts hearing something. He says, "I'm not supposed to be here. Break out." He's hearing Subaru and Amelia's voice because it's been over 10 minutes since Madara's been in there. Garfield already walked out, and he doesn't know where Madara went. And Madara says, "I will break out of this. I'll break the cycle of hatred and killing." And he then, as he's about to fight Hashirama, like this is before like their final battle. This is way before. This is after they found the Hidden Leaf Village. This is way like a little bit before the Hidden Leaf Village was founded. He then stops his sword and he says, "There's no point of fighting. I know that. I need to figure out a way to stop violence with just my words. I can't do it though. Not yet, at least." And Hashirama then says, "It took you long enough." And he gave his hand to Madara. He says, "You always been like this." And Madara shakes it, and it goes back to when he founded the village with Hashirama. He says, "Just like old times." And as he starts to fade away from that, he has to go back to his present, and now he has to go and deal with his present. As he looks at his present, it's pretty easy for him to do because it's just like what he's been fighting. And yeah, we don't have to really talk about the present because it's like he's already defeated the rabbits, all that, and nothing's really phasing him right now. But the future is the one that's going to affect him the most. And as Subaru goes in there to like try to find him, and Subaru then falls asleep too. And Amelia says, "Why did you go in here if you knew you were gonna fall asleep?" And Madara then wakes up screaming. He says, "No, please no. No, no, no." And he says, "Amelia, do you know a person named Memma?" And Amelia says, "What is this Memma you speak of?" And he says, he had the fox. He had all the tail beast. How does someone be able to control so much power? There's no way. And he made Reinhardt attack us. Somehow. I don't know." And Amelia says she doesn't know what he's saying. He says, "Reinhardt attacks you. I don't understand it myself. It says it happens 2 years' time from now." And he says, "Karusha is one of the first victims. We need to hurry up and go to her right away." And Amelia says, "Okay, we'll immobilize some in a couple of days' time." And Madara says, "No, it's gonna happen a day from now. We need to hurry up and get there before she dies." And Subaru wakes up too, and he starts hitting his head. And Madara says, "When did Subaru get here?" Okay, and my computer turned off. He says, "Subaru, calm down." He slaps him, and he says, "You will be staying here for a minute. You need to conquer your past. We don't need any weakness in you, either. This is only the beginning. There's something stronger than even me that's coming. I don't know if I could defeat it." And Reinhardt is gonna attack Amelia. I don't know what this is supposed to mean, though. And Subaru snaps out of it, and he says, "Why would Reinhardt do this?" And he says, "I don't know. Memma is his name." And Subaru tries to remember. Memma. I don't know a guy named Memma. And Madara then explains that he had whiskers. And he had black hair. And he says that sounds similar to like the character from the books. He says, so is he that character then? He says, it sounds like him. And you said he has a fox, right? Then it has to be him then. He's one of the future generations of the Hidden Leaf. He's coming here. I don't know for what reason though. And Madara says he was aligning with the witch cultists. That's what my dreams. That's what it was saying. We need to hurry up now. He says this to Amelia. He says, Subaru, you need to conquer these trials. And when you come back, tell me what happens. And Amelia is like, okay, what do we need to do? And Madara then assembles a small meeting while Subaru has to deal with the trials. He says, I have now thought it over. You should stay with Subaru. He's your knight and all. I'll be your second knight in command. After him. I might be stronger, but he's a better leader. He says this so Amelia can rely on him a little more. He says, okay. He says, I'll be bringing Celsius and Hannibal. He says, you two should be strong enough. Otto, stay with Subaru and give him emotional support to finish those trials. Garfield, protect the Sanctuary Mansion. And we might be going to war soon. With something even stronger than I am. I don't know how he's able to use these abilities. But the Nine Tails and all those tail beasts are able to destroy villages. Maybe even a whole country. And he says he has all 9 of them. And I can control them. I control one of them. I can probably control one of them at a time. I haven't tried controlling multiple of them. But I have to see for myself. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. I'll be going to Karush's camp to see what's going to happen. As he says this, he goes to get enough food so he can immobilize, and he then brings Hannibal and Celsius. And they say, why should we even go? We're supposed to be by Subaru. And he says, this is more important. If Amelia is targeted by this Memma guy, it's all over. And as he leaves, he says to Amelia, make sure you're still good with the other witches. And he says, I know you've seen them. Try to make sure they're good. And he flies away with Madara. Madara flies away with Hannibal and Celsius. I wish I could show you guys photos, but my computer is getting so old that it's being like. Okay, that was my mouth. Not nothing else. Okay. I'm making it weird. So anyway, as Subaru is flying back with he's not flying. Madara is flying with Celsius and Hannibal. It's been a day's time, and we'll be switching over. Wilhelm and Felix are not with Karush. Karush is by herself. She's about to fall asleep. And Menma sneaks in there, and she opens her eye, and she grabs her sword. And she doesn't lose her memory, if you guys remember, because Gluttony was killed. One of the pieces of Gluttony was killed. And Memma goes in there, and he shows his 9-tail eye. He says, so you're one of the candidates, huh? I only wanted to be 3-2 candidates, so this election could go a little faster. Just like it was supposed to be. And he pulls out his sword and he tries to slash attack Karush. And she calls for her men. And Wilhelm and Felix bust in there, and they see that Karush was attacked by this guy. And Memma says, oh, I see. You have your reinforcements. Not like that really matters. Then Memma then says, Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu. And he then summons 5 clones, and he then charges 2 Ronzagons. He says, "I bet you don't know what this is." And Felix tries to put up a barrier, and Wilhelm tries to get Karush out of there. But this Memma guy throws a dagger right next to Felix, and he teleports right above him. And Felix doesn't see it coming, and he gets hit right in the face with this Ronzagon. But luckily, he doesn't die because he had the barrier on him. And the whole room gets blown away, and the building starts to catch on fire. He says, "Man, how did you survive that?" And Felix is stumbling to get back on his feet. He says, "What the heck was that?" And he sees that Karush and Wilhelm are not in the same place as he is. He says, "You split us up. Where are the rest of my men? The men?" He says, "They're incapacitated." This is what Memo is saying. He says, "Where's Madara Uchiha? I need his eyes." And Felix says, "I'm not telling you jack squat about Madara. You're an enemy of this kingdom." And Felix then pulls out his spirits, and he says, "Attack." And Menma then says, "Okay, let's go a little bit stronger then." And this time, Felix finishes his protection, but Menma says, "Tell Beast Bomb," and he shoots it. He runs right at Felix, and Felix's spirits can affect okay, that scared me. Okay, can't affect Menma, and yeah, that barrier is not strong enough to protect him from a tail beast bomb. He gets hit by that, and it goes straight through his stomach, and he goes flying outside the building and hits a tree, and he's impaled by that tree. Yeah, poor Felix, man, this poor guy, and Wilhelm gets Karush to safety, and he goes back to find Felix is impaled by a tree. Felix is still alive. He healed himself, and he says he escaped. I don't know where he went, though. And Menma's trying to find where Karush went. But they went through a secret passage, Wilhelm and Karush, because he thought Felix would be able to handle him for now. But he was a lot stronger. He says, "You're one strong kid, but I'll be ending you right now." And he says, "I don't want to be thinking about that. Reinhardt told me all of your weaknesses." And Wilhelm says, "Don't speak that name to me." He says, "Isn't he your grandson? You're such a terrible grandfather if you don't want to hear your own grandson's name. I shouldn't be talking, though. I killed my sensei, though. He was like my grandfather, so I can understand why Reinhardt doesn't like talking to you." And he says, "So what is he doing? What is your purpose here? Why are you attacking this camp? Who made you do this?" He says, "The witch cultists." And Wilhelm says, "Why would Reinhardt be a part of the witch cultists? This doesn't make any sense." And he says, "This that doesn't concern you. You must die right now." As Wilhelm is charging up an attack, he then notices Madara in the distance. In that split second, I forgot what I was about to say. Menma uses another flying Raijin. He says, "There we go," and he tries to use the same technique, but Wilhelm dodges it pretty easily, and he cuts the mask off Menma's face, and he has one Sharingan in one of his eyes. He says, "You're pretty strong," but he sees Madara, and he says, "So he's the legendary Madara, huh? I guess I'll have to retreat for now then." And he runs into the bushes, and Wilhelm throws the sword, and it cuts him. Okay, yeah, it cuts him right in the leg, but he's able to run off. and teleport away. And Madara says, "Did I make it in time?" And Wilhelm says, "No." And how did you know we're gonna be attacked? And Madara says, "Menma. I saw him when I was taking these trials that allowed us to see into the future. He said the attacks would be happening 2 years from now, and this is the first attack. Is Karusha alive? She died in that world." And he says, "No, she's alive." He says, "Okay, so it's changed a little bit then." And Memma's already gone, and he sees Felix is the one injured. He says, "Karush was injured like that before." So I guess Felix changed it. He then brings Felix down, and Felix continues to heal himself. And he says, "So how does he? He does the same jutsus as you were doing. This doesn't make any sense. Why is he so strong?" And Madara then explained that he has these tail beasts from his world, and says he's not from here originally. He's from this Henleaf village that exists with ninja. And these tail beasts are the strongest in all those villages. And he says we shouldn't be messing with him because he's there. He's stronger with all those tail beasts. And if he gave them to the witch cultists, he doesn't see a way of winning anytime soon unless we kill all the archbishops and take all those tail beasts away. And Madara then remembers something. He says he knows the leader of all of the yeah. He knows the leader of all of the archbishops and the witch cultists. He remembers her name, Pandora. He found her in where Amelia's okay. He remembers, but he's remembering off of his memory. He says he found her. He tried attacking her, but she was able to face through his attacks. And he killed her multiple times, but she kept getting back up. So he's telling them all of this, and he says, Felix is like, "This is crazy. He's not he's one of the strongest ones, and the leader can face through those big attacks you land." He says, "We need to call for Reinhardt." And Wilhelm says, "Reinhardt, it sounds like Reinhardt betrayed us." That's what it sounds like. And he says, "Your grandson is just being manipulated or something. He's not betraying us yet. Only in 2 years he will. I don't understand why, though." And he says, he's such a disgrace. And this is what Wilhelm's saying. But Reinhardt never betrays them. And Hannibal and Celsius is saying, Yeah, see you guys Wednesday.